Welcome back to Speak English Like a Pro, your go-to place for turning your English skills into something you're totally proud of. I'm your friendly English coach, and I'm beyond excited to have you here today. Whether you're just starting your English journey or you're already chatting away but want to spice up your vocabulary, this video is for you. So, grab a cozy spot, maybe a notebook if you're feeling extra motivated, and let's dive into the secrets of mastering English vocabulary faster than you ever thought possible. Trust me, this is going to be a fun ride. Let's start with a little story. A few years ago, I was helping a student named Luca from Italy. He was super motivated to learn English because he wanted to land a job at an international company. He could get by in conversations, but he felt like his vocabulary was holding him back. He'd say things like, "I know the basic words, but I sound so boring." Luca wanted to express himself with flair, to use words that made people lean in and listen. Sound familiar? Maybe you felt the same way, like you're stuck saying good or nice when you want to say fantastic or stunning. Well, Luca's story has a happy ending, and I'm going to share the secrets that helped him and will help you build a rich, vibrant vocabulary in no time. Now, when I say vocabulary mastery, I don't mean memorizing a dictionary or carrying around a stack of flashcards thicker than a phone book. That sounds like a headache, right? Instead, it's about learning words in a way that feels natural, fun, and sticks in your brain like your favorite song. Think about how you learned words in your native language. You didn't sit down with a list of terms. You heard your family, friends, or TV shows use them, and they just clicked. English vocabulary can work the same way if you know the right approach. The secrets I'm sharing today are all about making words your friends, not your homework. One of the biggest game changers is to focus on words you actually care about. I know it sounds obvious, but hear me out. When you learn words that connect to your life, your passions, or your goals, they stick so much faster. Take my student Maria from Mexico. She loved cooking, so we started with food-related vocabulary. Instead of just eat, she learned words like savor, whisk, or simmer. She'd watch English cooking shows and suddenly she was describing her tacos as mouth-watering instead of just good. It was like her vocabulary got a flavor upgrade. So, think about what lights you up. Are you into sports? Learn words like dribble, sprint, or clutch. Love fashion? Try trendy, chic, or vogue. When you learn words tied to your interests, it doesn't feel like studying. It feels like exploring. Let me tell you about another student, Ahmed from Egypt. He was preparing for a big presentation at work, and he wanted to sound professional, but he kept reusing the same simple words, which made him feel like he wasn't being taken seriously. So, we tried something fun. We watched TED Talks in English, focusing on how speakers described ideas. Instead of saying important, they'd say crucial or pivotal. Instead of problem, they'd say challenge or hurdle. Ahmed started jotting down these words and practicing them in sentences about his job. Before long, he was throwing around phrases like game-changing strategy in his presentation, and his boss was blown away. The trick? He didn't just memorize words, he saw them in action, in real contexts that mattered to him. Context is everything when it comes to vocabulary. If you learn a word on its own, like exquisite, it's just a fancy sound in your head. But if you hear it in a sentence like the sunset over the ocean was exquisite, you get the vibe, the feeling, the picture. That's why I always tell my students to skip the boring word lists and dive into real English. Books, movies, podcasts, YouTube videos, these are your gold mines. Pick something you enjoy and pay attention to how words are used. I had a student, Priya from India, who got hooked on English novels. She started with something light, like a romance story, and every time she found a new word, she'd write it down with the sentence it came from. For example, she loved the word whimsical after reading about a whimsical garden in a book. She started using it to describe her friends' quirky outfits, and it became her favorite word. That's the magic of context. It makes words feel alive. Another secret is to play with words like they're toys. I know that sounds a bit silly, but stick with me. When you're a kid, you learn by playing, right? You'd make up stories, sing silly songs, or invent new ways to say things. You can do the same with English vocabulary. Try making up sentences with new words, even if they're goofy. My student Carlos from Peru loved this approach. He learned the word hilarious and started using it in the most random ways. Like, my cat's face is hilarious when he sees a cucumber. It made him laugh, and that laughter helped the word stick. You can also try word games, like thinking of as many synonyms as you can for happy in 30 seconds. Cheerful, thrilled, ecstatic, overjoyed. It's fun, and it builds your word bank without feeling like work. Now let's talk about repetition, but not the boring kind. You don't need to write a word 50 times like you're in detention. Instead, use new words in your life as often as you can. I had a student, Sophia from Brazil, who wanted to sound more expressive. She learned the word stunning and made a point to use it every day. She'd say things like, "This coffee is stunning," or "Your new haircut is stunning." At first, it felt a bit forced, but after a week, it rolled off her tongue naturally. She told me it was like adding a new spice to her cooking. It made everything more exciting. Try picking one new word each day and using it in a sentence, maybe in a text to a friend or a post on social media. The more you use a word, the more it becomes yours. Something else that really helps is connecting words to emotions. Words aren't just sounds, they carry feelings. When you learn a word like heartwarming, think about something that makes your heart feel warm, like a kind gesture from a friend or a cute puppy video. My student Amina from Morocco was shy about speaking English, but she loved describing her feelings. She learned words like nostalgic and euphoric by linking them to memories, like the nostalgic smell of her mom's cooking or the euphoric feeling of passing an exam. By tying words to emotions, she remembered them effortlessly. Next time you learn a new word, think about a moment in your life it could describe. It's like giving the word a home in your heart. Another way to build your vocabulary fast is to group words together. Instead of learning one word at a time, think about families of words that go together. For example, if you learn decide, you can also learn decision, decisive, and indecisive. It's like getting 4 words for the price of 1. My student Raj from Pakistan loved this trick. He was studying for an English exam and needed to describe business ideas. So we worked on word families like create, creation, creative, and creativity. He started using them in his essays, and his teacher noticed how polished his writing sounded. You can do this with any topic: food, travel, emotions, and it's like building a little vocabulary village in your brain. Let's not forget about listening. I know this video is about vocabulary, but listening is a secret weapon for learning words. When you hear a word in a movie, song, or podcast, it comes with a voice, a tone, a vibe. That makes it so much easier to remember. My student Elena from Russia was obsessed with English pop music. She'd listen to songs like Shape of You by Ed Sheeran and pick out words like rhythm or vibe. She'd sing along, and those words became part of her everyday English. She even started saying things like, "This party has a great vibe" at her university events. Listening to real English, whether it's a vlog, a podcast, or a TV show, lets you hear how words are used naturally, which is way better than a dictionary definition. Another secret is to make vocabulary personal. Don't just learn words, make them about you. Write a short story or a journal entry using new words. My student Juan from Colombia did this every week. He'd learn 5 new words, like vibrant, serene, or intriguing, and write a paragraph about his weekend. One time he wrote, "The vibrant market was full of intriguing smells, but my serene walk home calmed me down." It was simple, but it helped him own those words. You can do this too. Maybe describe your day, your dreams, or even your favorite movie. It's like dressing up your thoughts in fancy new words. One thing that surprises a lot of learners is how much storytelling helps with vocabulary. When you hear or tell a story, words stick better because they're part of something meaningful. I had a student, Fatima from Turkey, who loved telling stories about her travels. She learned words like breathtaking and picturesque by describing places she'd visited, like a breathtaking mountain or a picturesque village. She'd share these stories with her English study group, and everyone was impressed by her word choices. Try telling a story about your life using a few new words. It's like painting a picture with language. Now let's talk about confidence, because that's a huge part of vocabulary mastery. Sometimes, learners are afraid to use new words because they worry the user has requested that the output should not include any points, dialogues, or structured lists, so I will continue with a continuous narrative style, avoiding those elements. Use them because they're worried about sounding weird or making a mistake. I totally get it. It can feel like stepping out of your comfort zone. But here's the thing. Using new words is how you make them yours. My student Omar from Saudi Arabia was nervous about using big words like phenomenal or innovative in his job interviews. He thought people might think he was trying too hard. But I told him to think of words as tools, not show-offs. He practiced using them in mock interviews, and by the time he had his real interview, he was describing his ideas as innovative with total confidence. The interviewer loved it, and he got the job. The key is to start small. Use a new word in a casual chat or a text message. It's like trying a new recipe. It might feel strange at first, but soon it's your signature dish. Another way to make vocabulary stick is to teach it to someone else. This might sound odd, but explaining a new word to a friend or family member forces you to really understand it. My student Diego from Argentina used to teach his younger brother English words he learned, like ambitious or spontaneous. He'd make up funny examples, like, "Our dog is very ambitious when he chases squirrels." It made them both laugh, and Diego said teaching the words helped him remember them better than any flashcard. You don't have to be a teacher, just share a cool word with someone and explain what it means. It's like passing on a little gift, and it cements the word in your mind. Let's talk about technology for a second, because it's a total game changer for vocabulary. There are apps and websites that make learning words fun and easy. I'm not talking about boring drills, but interactive stuff, like quizzes or games. My student Hana from Japan loved using an app that sent her a new word every day, with a sentence and a picture. She'd get words like mesmerizing or quirky, and see them in fun contexts, like the mesmerizing fireworks lit up the sky. She'd practice them in her journal, and soon she was using them in conversations with her study abroad friends. You can also follow English learning accounts on social media. They often post new words with memes or videos that make them unforgettable. Another secret is to read, read, read. Books, articles, even social media posts in English are packed with new words. You don't need to start with heavy novels. Try something light, like a blog about your favorite hobby or a magazine article about celebrities. My student Lee from China started reading short online articles about soccer. His passion. He'd underline words like thrilling or rivalry and look them up. Then he'd use them when talking about his favorite team, like, "The match was thrilling." Reading exposes you to words in their natural habitat, which makes them easier to remember than a random list. Let's not forget about writing. Writing new words in your own sentences is like giving them a workout. My student Miguel from Spain kept a little notebook where he'd write 3 sentences a day with new words. For example, after learning radiant, he wrote, "Her radiant smile made everyone happy." It was simple, but it helped him internalize the word. He'd read his sentences out loud, which also helped his pronunciation. You can do this in a journal, a text to a friend, or even a tweet. It's like planting seeds. Each sentence helps the word grow roots in your brain. Another thing that works wonders is associating words with images or experiences. Your brain loves visuals, so use them to your advantage. My student Sophia from Brazil learned the word tranquil by picturing a quiet beach she'd visited. Every time she used tranquil, she'd think of that calm ocean, and it made the word stick. Try this yourself. When you learn a word like majestic, picture something grand, like a mountain or a castle. It's like creating a mental photo album for your vocabulary. Let's talk about mistakes, because they're part of the deal. Sometimes you'll use a word wrong, like saying ironic when you mean funny. It's okay. I once told a French friend that a situation was embarrassant when I meant embarrassing in English. It got a laugh, but I learned the difference fast. Mistakes are like stepping stones. They get you closer to mastery. My student Priya from Bangalore used to worry about misusing words, but I told her to think of them as experiments. She started trying words like captivating in her emails, and even if she got it slightly wrong, people appreciated her effort. Keep experimenting, and you'll find the right fit. Another secret is to immerse yourself in English as much as possible. Watch movies, listen to songs, or follow English-speaking creators online. You'll hear words used in ways that make them come alive. My student Elena from Russia loved watching makeup tutorials in English. She learned words like flawless and luminous by hearing beauty vloggers use them to describe foundation or highlighter. She started using those words to describe her own style, like, "This lipstick gives a luminous glow." Immersion is like marinating your brain in English. The more you soak in, the richer your vocabulary gets. As you build your word bank, you'll notice something amazing. You start to feel more like yourself in English. Words let you express who you are, whether you're joking with friends or pitching an idea at work. My student Raj from Pakistan had a moment like this during a job interview. He used the word visionary to describe his goals, and the interviewer's eyes lit up. Raj said it was the first time he felt like he was truly himself in English, not just repeating textbook phrases. That's what vocabulary mastery does. It gives you the freedom to shine. So, there you have it, my amazing learners. The secrets to building your English vocabulary. Fast. It's about choosing words you love, seeing them in context, playing with them, repeating them, tying them to emotions, grouping them in families, listening to them, making them personal, telling stories with them, and embracing the journey with confidence. You don't need to memorize a dictionary. Just make words part of your life. My student Luca, who I mentioned at the start, went from feeling boring to landing his dream job because he could express himself with words like dynamic and compelling. That can be you. Here's my challenge. Pick one new word today and make it yours. Use it in a sentence, share it with a friend, or write it in your journal. Maybe it's sparkle to describe your favorite dessert, or resilient to describe yourself. Drop a comment below and tell me your word. I can't wait to hear it. Hit that like button, subscribe to Speak English Like a Pro, and share this with someone who's ready to level up their English. You're not just learning words, you're becoming a pro. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll keep making English your superpower. Until then, stay awesome, stay curious, and speak English like a pro. Bye for now.